Hey guys, it's me, Tam here, and I'm back again with another custom Lego Star Wars set review, though it's very hardly custom. As you can see, it is the UCS Ultimate Collector Series, aka, Millennium Falcon from 2017, set number 75192, 16 plus, Millennium Falcon, trademarked. 7,541 pieces originally. And yeah, I believe at the time it was the biggest box art, biggest Lego Star Wars set, at least parts wise. And it came with like, how many figures? Like 8 of them. They're on one of the sides. I might have looked at the wrong side. Yeah, this side there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 figures with 3 creatures. Technically, I think there was actually like 4 or 5. It depends how many Minocs were in the set. Can't remember if there was, how many Minocs were in the set? There was only one? I think there was only one. But yeah, I got this from my grandfather. And here it is. It took me about 9 hours to take apart and sort in mini boxes or bins. And then it took me from Friday to yesterday morning to finish Tuesday morning. And I couldn't work nonstop because I actually developed a lot of back pain while working on this, on the floor and whatnot. Not a good idea, but most of the parts were there. Yeah, there was some parts where I had to keep running up and get more. Some of them were broken, especially like the robot arms. But I say custom because it's slightly modified. I added another room and I just did some other tiny little touch-ups. And also the figures are the most custom part, I guess. To the side, there's this radar dish for my sequel trilogy. This isn't based on the official sequel trilogy. I considered it, but I wanted to kind of change it up a little, so I decided I'd make it my episode 9 script based off of that for half of it. And for the original trilogy parts, it would be based off of A New Hope instead of Empire, just to kind of shake it up a little. Here's the stand. I put it on this larger piece so I could actually have the figures in front of it. And you can read that if you want. That's the official stand for it. But yeah, I'll just go through this. This is my very first UCS set, and also UCS set review, and also kind of like my very first kind of custom UCS set. Once again, it's not the official one, or it's not really custom. It's the official set, really. It's just I changed up some parts, so it is customized. But first figure here is just A New Hope Han Solo. He has the clone pistol, but that's meant to represent his DL-44. And, it's just A New Hope Han, really. I'd like some special face printing. I guess for this, it would be hypothetical as if, kind of like with the 2016 Death Star, I believe was the year. It would be like a re-release, kind of the 2017 Millennium Falcon, maybe about 10 years later at the least, or most, something like that. And it would, because like with the second play scale Death Star, they just kind of upgraded it in parts, especially the figures. But this is kind of more focused on figures because I just wanted to make a video out of it and I wanted to show off some figures. And this is possibly my last review before I go off to college. But so the second figure is Leia. This is the Tantive 4 minifigure with the skirt piece. And so she also has her Defender pistol. And then her face is the newest one, not the UCS Falcon one, because that has the breathing mask, which doesn't really show up in episode 4. So I didn't see a point. I don't have to hold this. Why am I holding this? And then the third main character of the original trilogy is Luke. This is his farm boy robes. I wanted to use his yellow jacket one. I wanted to make like the main trio based off of the comics that take place between 4 and 5, but I felt like it was more necessary to just make it based off of, the movies. So yeah, he has his, I personally really like this face print. I know, I get why people don't like it because of all the detail, but I personally like it. It works in some cases it doesn't, but he has his father's lightsaber as well. And that's the main trio of the original trilogy for the original trilogy, and then there's the main trio for from these movies, but they're older. So here we have Han Solo. This is based off of my episode 9 script again, and he's got a trench coat. This is basically DJ's torso and legs, and he's got the same pistol from before, and the arms were swapped out to be dark brown arms, and his head and hair is the Force Awakens Han Solo head and hair. It's the one that came from the Falcon, actually, right from this set. But so yeah, you can see he's got like the trench coat, the holster, and yeah, I think he looks really cool. It's kind of based off of concept art. Next figure is Leia, and this is another variant of her, and I think she'd have silver robe piece because you can see the silver there. I used one of Mia's torsos. Initially I had this piece, and right before filming I decided to make this the A New Hope figures, so I had to steal it and put it on Leia. But she's got another robe piece, kind of like that one, you know. She's got a blue cape, and then she's got sand blue arms, and her pistol is silver, and she's got the gray cane, which I've been giving her these 2 accessories for my sequel trilogy sets. And then the head is from the Star Wars Resistance set that comes with her. So you can see that in that. And then the third older version of the original trilogy trio is Luke. This is the one that I included in the, what set was it? It was the Jedi Interceptor. So yeah, I didn't really feel like he would keep changing outfits. I didn't want to give him yet another version of his Jedi robes. Oh, I gave him a human hand. I think I even gave him that hand in the officials in my original review. He's not supposed to have that hand. How did I make such a mistake? Jeez, that was also in the other reviews video. There, he's got like brown glove. That'll probably be dark brown, realistically, or gray. But see, he's got his self-made lightsaber. He's got the soft brown cape, and the torso, I believe, was Adrian Kohler, something like that. I forget. It just lost my mind. But whatever. The legs are Audi Gallia's, and the head is from, you know, the official sequel trilogy Luke head, and the hair is from the Mimban Han, the pit, you know, whenever he meets Chewbacca. So that's the 2 sets of main trio from the original trilogy. For the sequel main trio, we got Rey, and this is her standard episode 9 appearance for my scripts. Once again, this is based off my scripts. But yeah, she's got the legs from the Octo Rey, torso from Conics from the A-Wing from episode 9 sets, and the lightsaber is the Ahsoka lightsaber blades from Rebels, and then the gunmetal gray hilt. She's got a silver pistol, and then her head is Hermione's from the newer Harry Potter sets, and the hair is her episode 8 hair from the Last Jedi sets. The second figure of the 3 main characters of the sequel would be Finn, and once again he's in a very like it's his episode 9 appearance, but with the arms from the episode 7 figure and the episode 8 figure, and also the head from Orlando from Solo, and the hair's longer. And then he's got this pistol to represent a GLIE. That's the pistol that the Resistance uses and the official sequels, so I used it here too. And yeah, pretty good Finn figure, but easy to get as well. And then the last of the main trio of the sequels is Poe, and I've slightly changed him up. I gave him this hair because I think it just looked better. I don't know. I don't have a good hair piece that represents what I like. He'd also have a beard, you know, thicker beard. He has his Resistance blaster that I've been giving him, or New Republic blaster. And really the figure is basically the official Rise of Skywalker minifigure, but with skin-colored hands and the pistol and no satchel. Then here's Chewbacca. He can work either way, and he's got the stud shooter blaster. And then for the droids, we've got C-3PO, and I used his episode 7 polybag because I just like the printed arms, so yeah, I don't know if he'd have the, I think he'd probably still have a gold arm. And it would have just the same printing from this side over here. Or really, you know, just this printing on a gold arm. And I just chose this figure because of all the detail that it has. The better detail, like it has the side flag printing and the arm printing. But yeah, that's C-3PO. Then we have R2, same as always, you know. And then we have BB-8, who's the same as always. Those are all the figures. It's a large figure number, but I had a lot of desires. Once again, sequel trilogy radar dish. You can swap it out for this one from the originals. And yeah, so this spends really, okay, so the set, I really like it. There's a lot of good details. Some of it was a bit repetitive, especially these sections. It's got a very sturdy structure, like a really sturdy. I'm gonna go get a chair, or not a chair, a table. You know, I'm gonna lift it up real quick. Bear with me for a moment. All right, that's not working. So let's just point at the figures. You can look at, hey, you can look at the figures while I lift it up and struggle to get it onto that table. It's actually not as heavy as you'd expect. It's heavy, that's for sure, but it's easier to do than I thought it would be. You know, easier to lift up and move around. Okay, here we go. So now it's up here, and it's up high. You know, I guess I can show underneath of it first. You can see all 7 feet are here. The 3 in the front, and then the 2 pairs of doubled up landing feet. The ramp lowers. It's got this kind of pneumatic look, like it should. It's got a lot of just underside details. Did I build that right? Surely they didn't actually include that huge gap there. I have a feeling I built that wrong. I'm pretty sure I built that wrong. Huh. Maybe. Basically, yeah, you can see this is the underside detail. There's the middle one. And then they even have all the vents for on the underside as well, which is accurate, you know. And then also they have the, what did they call it? The ground buzzer? Yeah, the ground buzzer, where if you push on this little stud, the turret drops out and it can spin around like it does an Empire and do its thing. And then you can slide that back over. There's the turret on the underside, which is really, you know, it's a nice detail. Not really necessary, not easy to use either, but it's nice. And it's got some tiny little parts that can break off easily. Over here, there's just nothing because there's no landing or boarding ramp on this side. And then, out of my way. Over here, there's some underside details and whatnot, you know. These are kind of all like, kind of just clamped in. It's a bit precarious, I think, at some points. There's nice little side detailing. These, more side detailing. This has a whole lot of great detailing. That's really nice, as those printed parts there. And then, you know, that's just a whole lot of greebling. These mandibles took a really long time. And there's that. And then for the official set, these come off actually, because, oh, well, that's not supposed to come off like that. But like, you're supposed to take this off to represent the original trilogy Falcon, because apparently this was added sometime after the original trilogy. It's really not wanting to come off right now, but yeah, you can see here there's non-symmetrical details where it's light gray here and then dark gray all along here. And actually, apparently these are also not here in the sequel trilogy, but you know, they didn't take those off because it's not that big of a detail. You can see the shaping is magnificent. And a lot of these are actually really easy. Like, they just rest here, really, and they kind of just, like, all come together like a puzzle piece. Like, this isn't even clipped in. You can pull this out. You can pull all these out because they're really all held down. Okay, well, this one is actually, like, attached to this, which is actually really attached. But, yeah. Like, these, you can easily take all of these off. There's this, which you can take off to represent either... You can take it off entirely and represent the Return of the Jedi Falcon without the radar dish, or you can put on the sequel trilogy one. And then for one of the panels, you see this. This is an easy little gripping point for you to take that off. Let me bring this on over here. So just rest that there. And then this one clips and just rests there. And here you can see the main lounge area, you know. And so it's got the jar table and all the seats, and it's kind of cramped. Like, it doesn't stretch all the way back because of this mainly. So you can't. So it doesn't have like the little bed area behind the seats or over on this side, and it doesn't have the doorway, but it has the little chair where Han Solo talks. Where Han Solo watches Obi-Wan train Luke to not use his eyes. It's got the little swivel chair. There's all those nice little cockpit or the hallway stickers, which are really nice to get. You can see a lot of gaps because, once again, like they really just found places where they could fit interior into it, and they just slipped it in. Like, basically for these, the flooring, you just slide it up underneath, and then you use those parts to just pin it in after building the room. So it's kind of like, you can, like, if these weren't blocked and I could pull out those pins, I could, like, take out the room and just slide it down, kind of. But there's some other nice little details randomly. There's that helmet, which actually that was just a plain gray, and I swapped it out for the T-16 Skyhopper pilot helmet. And then, yeah, this whole 4x4 dish piece. Oh, wobbly table. And then, yeah, once again, there's just nice little details here and there. There's a sticker for blaster, holes and whatnot. In the center, there's this huge round bit with the turret, which actually the turret's really nice. I like how it is on a gimbal. So it's like really accurate. I think it's supposed to actually, in universe, it kind of angles upwards a bit. Like you can see here, it's very flat, but where this angles up, it kind of angles up at that same angle, so it's slightly positioned upwards. But yeah, over here, I think either this or this would be like the hatch that Lando uses to get out and grab Luke at the end of The Empire Strikes Back, but they didn't implement that. This is hollow. I maybe could have done it, but here's more detailing. Little maintenance areas over here and here. All of these greebling details, which is where some of my modifications come in. Actually, I forgot to show this off. You can see that you just pull all this out. That piece is kind of scratched in places, but you can see there's the little seat there. It doesn't spin. And it's hollow, and you can actually see out the window on the bottom there. But yeah, once again, you can see just a lot of Technic structuring and just a tiny little seat where it needs to be. And then that just slides all the way back in. It's the exact same build on the bottom, but it actually it uses 6 Technic pins on either side to pin in. And then this thing is all solid because it's attached in multiple points. But it branches out to hold these sides. And once again, this is where kind of my customization comes in. This is not kind of is. There's this panel here. Just put that there. And then this panel here, which just slides in again. And I'll put that over here. And here you can see it's slightly modified. You can see there's 2 hallways there, one there, and then the other one there, which those are kind of just inverted versions of each other. There's the ladder down to like the engineering bay, I think that Han uses, and during the asteroid field scene where he falls, the toolbox falls on him or whatever. Because yeah, it's just a random ladder there that leads down into that little gap, so that's what I think it's meant to represent. Let's get in the hallway, which the hallways are really nice builds, really fun builds. And then there's that little thing there with some stickers and prints. There's the escape pods over here, which they show up in The Last Jedi. They don't show up in my scripts, so they're kind of just, yeah, they don't really show up in the movies, but they're mentioned having existed. There's a little smuggler's compartment here, which is just a small little pocket. You can really just fit a weapon in there, or a minifigure head, really. There's a little wheel here, which you can actually spin because it's on a frictionless stud Technic piece. There's this little clamp piece there, and then here you can see there's a little bed build instead of the maintenance corridor thing where where Han and Leia kind of, you know, do stuff, make out and whatnot. And what I did was I made it to where, you know, you can put C-3PO in here, or just any figure really. And then they can stud in at the rear, but yeah, and they can kind of sleep because this is actually where the bed area is. And this is where my modifications also show up again. Sorry, because like I mentioned, this side is actually completely solid in the official set, but I copied, after finishing this, I completely took apart this side, and I reversed this side's building. So it's basically just a piece for piece recreation with some changes, you know, like rebuilding changes and whatnot. But for the most part, they're very similar. I don't know how those are meant to go together, but yeah, you can see, once again, like there's these parts, and then there are these parts, and those actually do use a lot of the same pieces, but I did one, like I said, I swapped out some. But here you can see this. This was all dead space, really. Like it was the exact same build as this side, just, you know, hollow and completely covered. I moved the maintenance area corridor, you know, where Han and Leia kiss, over here on this side, so I can make room for the bed area there. And I would have moved the escape pods over here too, but they're kind of a bit more built inside. Also, I didn't really know what to put there because I don't have enough parts for 2 beds. But you can see also there's the hyperdrive on this side too, once again reversed. And then there's just a few small details. There's not, I would have recreated another hallway, but I didn't have enough cheese slips and also not another sticker. So I just kind of put in some of my own details. I used those pieces from the Rathdar set, the yellow parts. And I kind of copied this build here a bit, but I used the little, like, stool pieces, the old stool pieces. And then you can see there's also another swivel chair here for, you know, if you're sleeping while on the job or something. There's a black cord as well. And then there's, over here, there's a wrench on a clip and another little wheel piece. And then this thing here is a crate. It says cargo, and it has thermal detonators inside. And then I used 2 of the sticker pieces from the ATST sets just for detailing. And once again, I'd probably have a hallway here and maybe one over here. And then there's this corridor, like I mentioned. I just reversed it, so it's on this side now, and you can fit a figure in there and whatnot. And then there's also this area here, which is meant to be one of the smuggling compartments where you can hide a figure. So I'm going to take C-3PO again and just slide him in here. And then close it up. He's hidden away, hiding from the Empire. So yeah, you can hide your figures down there. But that's really all the detailing here. I would have filled that out more, but it's just, it was kind of like a last ditch thing. Also, my back was really hurting. I didn't want to have to keep leaning forward and whatnot, but really, I'm gonna close it up and I'll show you the cockpit as the last detail. But this is a set that I'm really happy to have gotten to build, because it's every LEGO Star Wars fan's dream to get to build the largest LEGO Star Wars set that we know of, at least, or that I can remember. I mean, obviously, a lot of us know every single set, but pretty sure it's still the largest LEGO Star Wars set. I think it's been beaten for parts. I think there's other sets that have gotten more parts and other themes, but I still consider this the greatest LEGO set, in my opinion, because it's so huge, so many parts, such a demanding presence, because it's the Millennium Falcon. I'm still zoomed in. Like, look at how iconic that thing is. So the last part is the cockpit with the special cockpit mold. There you can see my Millennium Falcon, which is actually on stream. I said whenever I only had the Technic structure, I said it was probably about the same size as that with only the Technic structure, and I did the measurement and I was right. Like, let's see. Let me get this. Hey, here you can see that my Millennium Falcon on top of the UCS one. And actually, I used a lot of the parts from my Millennium Falcon to upgrade the UCS one. Cause yeah, I was needing parts and I'd already packed up all my Lego stuff. But the last part is the cockpit. So it has this larger piece with the 6x6 circle piece for the front instead of the 2x2 or 4x4 for that, and the actual cone piece is just an extra stud longer on either side. So it's like it's basically it would fit around these. Like you can actually fit it around this circle bit. So there's not really anything, like you can't attach it to this like you could with the old cone. It has to go around. But here you can see the cockpit. It's got just 4 spots, which are very kind of not very pretty, you know, unrealistic, but it works. I wasn't about to change it up much, but yeah, no cockpit hallway because this thing needs the structure for, you know, it needs that area for structuring. But yeah, it's a very nice set, very cool to get, and the figures that I included were just kind of just a specialty. Don't take this as like me saying, oh yeah, I built this myself without instructions. It's not really a custom set, it's just got modifications. Special modifications, you could say, that Han Solo would probably approve of, because he likes his modifications. I mean, he's got a lot of illegal tech on his ship, so what's more? But I want to thank you all very much for joining me, and I'll see y'all next time. Later.